Okay, so let's take a look at page 734 and number, just looking at the ones you guys asked questions about. We'll start with number 31. So these are the questions I saw from the homework assignment. Okay, so 31 says asymptotes are plus or minus root 10 over 5. And the foci are plus or minus root 7 over 0. Okay, so what do we know? What do we know here? So we know that the center is at 0, 0. We know that C is root 7. Okay, and we know that it's going to be opening like this. Okay, so that tells me that this is going to be root 7. Oh, hold on a second, guys. There we go. Sorry about that. So that's going to be root 7, and then A is going to be less than it, but A is definitely going in the horizontal direction. Okay. So how does that help us? Well, with this right here, right, the slope, that tells us how to get from here, right, to like the top right corner of this box. And remember, there's going to be two asymptotes here, and we can have like the crosshairs of this right within it. Okay, now we have to remember though that this is just the ratio between the rise and the run. It doesn't necessarily mean that the rise is root 10 and the run is 5 for this one, okay? But we do know that the ratio between A and B, and so A is in the horizontal direction and B is in the vertical direction, that ratio is B over A. So we know that A root 10 equals 5B, okay? So, from it being a hyperbola, we know that B squared equals C squared minus A squared. Okay? And we know that C is root 7, so this is going to be a 7 right there. Okay? I'm going to then go replace A or B with this. I have two equations with two variables. Excuse me. Before I actually replace it, I'm going to square both sides. Right? And the reason I'm going to square it is just so that... Okay, let's go 25b squared. And the reason I did that is just so there's no square roots. That kind of helps me to make a better decision for myself about what do I replace the a or the b. And so I'm going to choose to solve for a squared. That becomes 5 halves b squared. And so then I have b squared equals 7 minus 5 halves b squared. Okay? Hey, that's one single variable. I can move this over. Excuse me, that's going to give me 7 halves b squared equals 7, or b squared equals 2, okay, for myself. Now again, the problem's asking us to determine the equation of the hyperbola. I'm not going to worry about the form. I'm just going to worry about getting in the basic form of, like, you know, x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equaling 1. And you know, you can change it from there. If I put that in here, right, that means that a squared is 5, right? There's my equation for myself. So that's how I would get my equation for myself. So the big thing there is that this is the ratio between A and B. How do I know whether it's B to A or A to B? Well, that's determined by the fact that this opened horizontally, and so the A was in the horizontal direction, and the horizontal is the run, and so that would make the B the rise there. So if this was opening up, then I would have had this flipped over, because the A would have been going in the vertical direction and the B would have been going in the horizontal direction. So this corresponds right here with the with which way it's going to be opening up.